Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms coming to you live from Escondido, California. Today's day 36 of our great adventure. And all I can say is grief sucks. Had a very emotional day today, questioning myself on a lot of things about what I'm doing, where I'm going, and everything else. And amongst it all was woven in all this grief stuff coming in, and trying to figure out why I'm questioning so many things. And then a lot of memories were coming up. So it made it very much a roller coaster day. I did get out and get some errands, ran some errands today, but through it all, it was sort of like I had a digital recorder going in the car so that I could talk things out with myself. I find that very helpful at times, just to put a digital recorder on and just try and talk things out, ask myself questions. Ask myself questions, just talk through thoughts that I'm having, that sort of thing, because sometimes I find that getting it out onto a digital recorder is easier than writing. Because sometimes when I'm writing, my brain is going so fast that there's a lot of disjointed sentences. So if I can talk it out, sometimes it helps. In my conversations, I was asking myself questions about where I'm going, what I'm doing. I was also going through different scenarios. I tell you, it ran the gamut. It went from grief to scenes and scenes and stories that I'm trying to get out of my head. Like I can picture a scene in my head for one of the books that I'm working on or want to work on, but I can't. But every time I sit down to write it, I just can't get the communication between what I see up here into words. So my very dear friend and coach, YT, suggested that I talk it out. So I pulled out the digital recorder today. I talked it out, got it out that way. But I still think when I go and transcribe it, it's going to need to have some more words added or not. I don't know. But ran the gamut. And I just had this grief sucks, especially when you're driving and some memory hits you and it hits you hard. And all you want to do is just turn into a pile of goo and curl up. By the time I got back to Sparkles, I was exhausted. So I took a nap, woke up feeling a little bit better, and then I went to my go-to pick-me-up movie because the song just started playing in my head. And so the song that started playing in my head was I Have Confidence from Sound of Music. So had to go watch Sound of Music with Julie Andrews. So I went and watched that, and that musical always lifts my spirits. Really, no matter what mood I'm in, I go watch a musical, and the music just lifts me. The acting just lifts me. And then I started thinking, after I've watched that, I still felt a bit of the grief hitting me, a lot of memories still hitting me and stuff. And I thought I need something else to watch. So I'm flipping through my DVD book, which is like 254 movies in one folder. I actually have two of them. And that was after I sorted it, closed it down, whatever. Went past all my James Bond movies, which I usually use to help lift spirits as well, but went past those and stopped at War Room. And War Room I bought completely unseen. I just liked the summary of the story, and somebody had also recommended that I watch it as well. In fact, Jason Eby, I think it was you, who recommended War Room to me. And that was like ages ago when it first came out. I have had it on DVD since it came out on DVD, have never watched it. I just finished watching it. Man, what a powerful, powerful movie that is. It is very Christian based. So if you are a Christian or believe in the Christian faith, great movie. Even just from a spirituality thing, great movie. And that has completely turned my day around. And like I said at the thing, grief sucks, but tucked within are blessings that make it super fantastic and sparkling. And being able to watch movies like Sound of Music or The War Room, that enables me to lift my spirits and gets me thinking on not taking away the grief, but helping me deal with it, is a good way to as that silver lining, that super fantastic sparkling lining, and the blessing that's in there, because there is just so much great information I mean, you got great songs in Sound of Music. One of my favorite ones is I Have Confidence, because I wasn't feeling very confident today, and that one just kept playing over and over in my head, and I thought, okay, I got to go watch Sound of Music now. So, Sound of Music with Do Re Mi, and then the other song I really enjoy is Climb Every Mountain. Search high and low, find your dreams and go after them. Great, songs with message. When you listen to some of the songs and some of the musicals, there are great messages hidden in between, hidden in there. I have confidence. I have confidence in me. And then of course, Climb Every Mountain. It's search high and low, follow your dreams. So two great uplifting songs within that one, and of course then I like all the other songs as well. I don't know what Mojo thought. Every time I started singing, he'd sort of like put his head up, look at me, and just go back to sleep. In fact, I think at one time he picked up his stuffed toy and brought it to me to toss for him. But then to watch The War Room, and it was the first time I have seen that movie, and man, what a powerful, powerful movie that is. I actually took notes watching a movie. I took notes. So, now I got to go read my notes. But, grief sucks. It'll hit you out of the blue anytime. And I figured out what I know that this is the month that Brad passed, and his 2-year anniversary is coming up on the 24th. Tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary that Gus crossed the Rainbow Bridge. So that's been playing there as well. So I've got, that. And then the 17th of September is the day that our dog before Gus passed. So it will be, he was 2004. So it'll be 15 years on the 17th. That was Bear's passing across the Rainbow Bridge. So it's been, 15 years since Bear's gone. It's 2 years since Gus gone tomorrow. Brad will be 2 years on the 24th. And then I also figured out too that the other portion of the grief that was hitting me was the fact that I've spent the last 2 months with my parents traveling around. We spent 3.5 weeks traveling around New Zealand. I then came home for a week. Then I had 4.5 weeks with them here in the States. And so we basically spent 2 months together. It was a great time. And now all of a sudden, here I am in my RV by myself. And I guess, so it's accumulation of stuff that's just, events and all of that, memories coming through. There is a little bit of loneliness in there, but being able to sit and watch movies that have uplifting messages, it helps a lot. And, jeepers. So, every cloud has a silver lining in some way. And I always remember the morning that Brad passed, how I looked up at that board, because the day before, the message had been on the board all week since he had come home on that Monday. He came home from the hospital on the Monday after 87 days. And it had the, welcome home, Brad. And I thought on that Saturday, I thought, I got to change the message on there. He's been here 4 days. It's time to change the message. So I wrote on that board, no matter what happens, today is always super fantastic and sparkling, and drew some sparkles around it. And if you look somewhere in my photos on my Facebook, there's photographs of it there. And that was on the Saturday afternoon, and he passed at 4:05 the next morning. He quietly just slipped away. And I remember that, sitting there next to him after he'd gone and looking up at that board, and all I could see on that was written there was, today is super fantastic and sparkling. And I thought, my heart is breaking right now. God, grief sucks. My heart is breaking right now, but he's at peace, he's out of pain, and it really is a super fantastic sparkling day. It's 4:30 in the morning, and the sun wasn't even up. And I'm looking at that thinking, it is. He's no longer in pain. He's no longer in a body that's been broken so badly by cancer that he could no longer live there. And one thing with cancer is that people say, they lost their battle to cancer. No, they keep fighting. They fight. Their spirit fights. It's just that cancer breaks their body so much that their spirit can no longer live there and has to move to another plane of existence. And so I remember sitting there thinking, he's no longer in pain. He's now free. He's been reunited with Gus and Bear. So he's in a really good place. And then later on that morning, I remember watching the sunrise. And it was the most perfect sunrise I have ever seen. The colors were so vivid. It was just, I have never seen another sunrise like it since. In the 2 years since he passed, I have never seen another sunrise like it. And I remember that sunrise so vividly and clearly in my head. I just stood there in the moment enjoying that sunrise. I didn't even bother picking up my phone to take a picture of it, because it was such a perfect sunrise that it's permanently embedded in here. And that's the only place that I need that photograph. So all I can say is grief sucks, but there is blessings within the grief. There's stuff that comes out of it that helps you move on, that helps you pick up the pieces and carry on. For me, watching Sound of Music today and hearing songs like I Have Confidence and Climb Every Mountain, and fun songs like Do Re Mi and Edelweiss. I love Edelweiss. Love that song. Such great songs in that movie. And then watching such an inspirational movie like War Room, that one just blew me away. I can't tell you how long I've had that. When that thing came out on DVDs, when I bought it, because my friend Jason suggested it and said, you got to watch it. And I'm like, okay. And so when it came out on DVD, I bought it sight unseen. And this is the first time and that was a few years ago, and it's the first time I've had a chance to sit and watch it. And it was really uplifting. There were a lot of tears during that movie because it was such a moving story and everything else. So, but anyway, that's it from me. I may even go watch another. Let's see, it's only 8:18. I may even go watch another movie. I have plenty of movies there to watch, and some of them are inspirational, and some of them are just straight out shoot 'em up action. And well, of course, you got James Bond, and then there's the James Bond collection, and then of course there's the Star Wars stuff, because those were Brad's favorites. And I might actually do on the 24th. Might do a Star Wars day. I know I've got in my planner the 24th is crossed out. I am not doing any appointments on that day. I am not doing anything. I have that day blacked out on my calendar, so nobody can make any appointments in it whatsoever, because the 24th is going to be Brad and I day, and I'll either do a Lord of the Rings trilogy movie marathon, followed by I might do The Hobbit and then Lord of the Rings, or I might do a Star Wars day, or I may even do a Star Trek day. I don't know, but I did keep those videos, those DVDs, so that I could have those, share those moments with him. So, thank you all for listening to me ramble. I appreciate it. Let's see who has come in on here. We've got Laura watching, Jed, Charles, Chuck. Let's see who else is there. Renee, Ina. Thank you guys all for watching, and thank you for your love and your hugs and all of that, and the prayers and everything else. I feel so blessed to have so many friends that just reach out to me. I've been getting messages like crazy from people, just reaching out and saying, hi, how are you? And they come through at the times that I need them the most. So I really appreciate people reaching out to me and just shooting me messages or sending me some love, whatever it is. And so thank you guys for listening to me ramble. Hey Renee, hey Sandra, I haven't seen you guys in forever. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and we will catch you guys tomorrow night, and maybe I'll have another inspirational movie for you to watch. There's one about giants. It's a football one. Might go watch that one. Got this thing about giants in my head. Gotta go find that DVD. Anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Remember, grief sucks, but within the grief there is always a blessing to be held that will turn it around to being something that's super fantastic and sparkling. Have an awesome evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. He konera.